Hey, so it's kind of a bittersweet day here. It's my last full day at the winery, and it's been an awesome 2 weeks, so it's going to be sad to say goodbye to it. But just kind of wanted to go over some stuff I've been doing, some stuff I've learned here. First of all, by the way, I don't think I showed this in a previous video, but this is an awesome loft area where Anne has her cider and her wine events. We're about 20 feet above the ground, 15 feet above the ground. But yeah, super cool area, and I guess they're planning on a 100-person party here in a month or so. And again, just kind of a tour around. So I'll talk a little about this in a second, but all of those, again, I think I've shown previously, they're all the big fermentation bins. We have the reds going in right now. This area here is mostly all of the cider tanks and everything, and some other wine bins over there. And then we have, oh, I can't zoom in. The grayish thing, as we call it, the concrete egg. It's where Anne has one of her white wines fermenting. So it's kind of an original fermentation device, but kind of unique here. So anyway, and then scrolling over this way, we have some of the stainless barrels, and then all sorts of wooden barrels where some of this year's and a number of previous vintages wines are being stored. And then the other contraptions, forklift I found vital here, and we're currently cleaning out the big elevator where we pressed the grapes, or sorry, where we sorted the grapes initially. So anyway, some of the things I've been doing, and I didn't, I kind of joked about this when I started here, that it seemed like, especially when we had even more bins here when we started, I jokingly said, working the winery is half playing Tetris with everything, because it's just moving bins around. One day you're working in the bins in the back, then you need to move in the front. So it's literally just staying out of the way of the forklift while everything gets moved around and rearranged. So it's really almost like a continuous game of Tetris. Unless there was twice as much space, you kind of have to do that. And then the cider maker says that the other half is Donkey Kong. Climbing over the barrels, literally to get to the tops of the barrels to get samples, you literally have to kind of shimmy between the racks here, climb on the metal racks. When the forklift is moving the barrels around, just stay out of that, jump over them, whatever. So half Tetris and Donkey Kong. But some actual more day-to-day stuff that I've been doing. So there's been every day since the reds have started fermenting, which Anne tries to do everything native yeast, so she doesn't inoculate artificial yeast to get them going. Every day you have to punch the cap down, so basically you're combining the skins with the juice to give it a higher extraction, more color, more flavor compounds, which is by far my favorite thing to do here. I'll try to get another video of that while I'm finishing up. And then, so for the white wines, what I'd started out was I mixed up some of the yeast, and there's various different yeast strains that you use for different grapes. What Anne's doing, actually, what a lot of winemakers do, is they use different yeasts in different barrels and they combine them all at the end. So getting a feel for how to inoculate the wines to start them fermenting, and then every day after that you have to sample them, take the cool little, it's a huge straw that you dip in there and you pull out the wine. It's called the wine thief. So taking out samples, measuring the sugar levels, measuring the temperatures that fermenting at, occasionally measuring the pH level for how acidic they're getting, and then occasionally doing that for the reds as well. And they're going a little more slowly because that's mostly native yeast, which take a lot longer at lower temperatures to go. So just the day-to-day actions of actually monitoring the progress. And then there's been a lot of just kind of general, winery stuff, topping off some of the barrels, adding a fining agent to kind of filter it. I mopped the entire floor yesterday before I left because it was getting pretty nasty, and then so of the day-to-day stuff, the two things that I kind of expected, but I guess I didn't realize how big of an emphasis. I would say I spend easily about a third to half of my time here just cleaning. That when you're using a certain when you're taking samples, for example, you can't dump the wine thief into one barrel and then immediately dump in the next, because you're cross-inoculating the yeasts that are working. So literally every time when you touch a wine, you have to completely sanitize it before you use that same tool to touch another wine. The big plunger, it's in one of the bins right now, but when you're doing punch downs, the plunger that you have to use between every bin that you're working on, you have to completely sanitize that. If there is junk on the floor, if anything touches the floor, you have to completely sanitize. It makes sense, but it is a large part of the time to make sure that you keep a clean winery and keep your wine healthy. The other thing is, I learned you're going to get wet no matter what. And so right now, well, I guess my pants aren't wet right now, but I've been wearing my boots all day, every day, and my pants are just soaked by the end of the day. So no matter what you're doing, you're gonna get wet. Most likely it's water, but it might be chemicals. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just part of the day-to-day process of actually making wine properly here. Oh, hey Gemma.
Hey.
Taking a video. That's Gemma, the taproom manager. So, yeah, just kind of, you know, what's going on day to day. So like I said, it's been an awesome experience, and I've learned a ton about the actual day-to-day process of making wine. Maybe enough that I don't want to do it, maybe enough that I eventually do, but yeah, it's you know, not the romantic, like, you know, idea of just crafting a piece of art. I mean, it's literally chemistry in action. Let's see. Oh, and today we got a chance to go down to Willamette Valley to return some of the bins. We got some of the juice in, meet the Bergstrom family from Bergstrom Winery, and yeah, there's a lot of really cool connections out here. And like everyone working at the winery is just great. The tap room, the cider people, the wine people. So yeah, that's kind of like what I've been doing here on, you know, 6, 8, 10 hours a day every day. So 2 days left over the weekend, so I'll be preparing for my trip back. I'm looking at going through Southern California, well, along the coast through Yosemite, and then through Zion National Park, back through Colorado, hopefully camping again. So, but yeah, that's